So let's break down what's going on here. What you're really using with qualifying and challenging is push-pull and accrued punishment and reward behaviorism, which is going to condition the woman to qualify to you. Every time she qualifies correctly, you're giving her validation, praise, and approval. But it's always preceded by you threatening to take away that validation and approval. Also, most guys start touching a woman when they feel they're about to lose her. You're doing the opposite of this. Every time she does something right, you're rewarding her with a physical touch and then threatening to push her away if she says something wrong. Unconsciously and emotionally, she starts to associate you fondling her with getting your validation and acceptance. Qualifying and challenging uses the gradient principle. You're starting off with an innocuous question. You're asking her if she's adventurous. Now, most women are going to answer yes because they want to be thought of as adventurous. I mean, think about it. Who doesn't want to be thought of as adventurous? And this is especially true if she likes you. Also, you're starting your touch off fairly innocuous. All you're doing is giving her a high five for being adventurous. But then by questioning how adventurous she is and asking her to give you examples of things that make her adventurous, you're compelling her to qualify to you. You're hitting the compliancy trigger, qualifying. By her qualifying to you, she's going to be giving legs to the statement that she's adventurous. This is going to strengthen her commitment to being adventurous. Then you're rewarding her for doing this by using more intrusive touch. Now you're going to put your hands around her sacrum. Next, you're challenging her to be spontaneous. And she feels compelled to qualify, making herself commit to being spontaneous. Next, you're challenging her to tell you the craziest place she's ever had sex, which makes her qualify and commits her to being sexually adventurous. Next, you're challenging her on her kissing skills. If she says she's a good kisser, this is going to commit her to being a good kisser. Now she's committed to being adventurous, spontaneous, sexually adventurous, and a good kisser. And because of the compliancy trigger, commitment and consistency, she'll almost inevitably kiss you back when you kiss her. Also, by making her commit to these things, you're giving her the identity of someone who would kiss you, and kiss you right there on the spot. You're also hitting the compliancy trigger, scarcity, in two ways. One is that you're making her jump through hoops to earn your validation. When people have to earn something or get past an obstacle to get something, they see it as more scarce and therefore more valuable. Another form of scarcity that you're using is abundance to scarcity. After each praise, after giving her an abundance of validation, you're threatening to take away that validation if she doesn't qualify to you. You're also hitting several of her sexual needs. You're exacerbating her need to feel worthy and attractive. You're also filling her need to be seduced because you're utterly and totally seducing her. And you're filling her need to seduce because, in a way, you're making her seduce you. You're also hitting several of her primitive emotions. You're hitting that feeling of needing your validation. You're creating a fear of loss because you're constantly creating a fear of not getting your validation or getting more validation from you. And you're hitting discontent because you're making her jump through hoops to get your validation. You're creating obstacles. You're putting obstacles in the way from getting your validation. Qualifying and challenging also helps create the perceptual filter of comfort. Because she associates your touch with getting your oh so desirable approval, touch actually is going to help create the perceptual filter of comfort. Also, by making her tell you the craziest place she's ever had sex, and then by you reciprocating that, that's going to also help build the perceptual filter of comfort. Also, if she does share some crazy story with you and then you share a crazy story, you guys are both going to be crazy freaks and have that in common. And that commonality is going to help build the perceptual filter of comfort. Also, the fact that you're compelling her to see herself as someone who would kiss you on the spot, you're giving her a very sexually adventurous identity, that's going to help build the perceptual filter of comfort, because now that she takes on that identity, it's not that far of a cry for her to be congruent with that identity with her actions. Because you're making her qualify to you, because you're making yourself the center of her source of validation, she's going to see you as an authority. And this, as you know, is going to help build the perceptual filter of comfort.